Hello my friends, this is Nick. Welcome back to Shining Brighter. And today we're going to talk about trusting the process. But before I get started, first and foremost, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. You worked hard, you helped raise beautiful kids, and you took care of your men too. So thank you. Now, when we talk about trusting the process, guys, I'm talking about everything that you're going to have to do on your path to shining brighter. It's not easy in many cases. Mine certainly wasn't. It took me 2 years of hard work, deep reflection, shadow work, admitting a lot of truths that I didn't want to admit, and facing a lot of things that I just didn't think of. But along that path, I improved so much, and I'm so much better than I ever was, and I'm so much stronger that I'm not sorry that I went through it all. And a lot of times in life, we just go through life on a narrow path like you see before you. And the problem is we go through life with blinders on, just walking down this narrow path. And the problem is, if you just keep doing that and you never take the time to look around, you never know what kind of beautiful stuff you're going to miss. There is a whole world out there, and it's there for everybody. But it's only there for you if you're going to stop and take a look around and appreciate the world that is there for you. So today, like I said, we're talking about trusting the process. It's not an easy path, guys. It's hard work. A lot of people don't do it because they're afraid of what they're going to find out. But don't be afraid, because what you're probably going to find out is you're a much stronger, much more amazing person than you ever thought you were. Part of the reason I love walking, particularly out in nature, is because as I walk, I told you before, I get fresh air, I get sunshine, I get to think and work problems out in peace. I enjoy nature. But, as I'm walking, I love exploring and I love discovering new things. And that's what shadow work is all about, is discovering new things about yourself. And there's no greater thing that I can think of that you can do for yourself is discovering new things, that you didn't know about yourself. Because you're probably going to find, new hobbies. In my case, a lot of new music, feeling better about yourself, finding out, that you do have value, you do have worth, and that, of course, first and foremost, you should respect yourselves. Because if you don't, who's going to do it? Because if people see that you don't have any respect for yourself, then they're not going to give you any, because they figure, they don't care, so why should I? And as terrible as that is, it's the truth, but the path is hard. Like I said, it took me 2 years, and in that time, I went to a therapist, went to a life coach. I still go today. I don't see it as weakness, I see it as strength, and I can admit to myself that those two things were very necessary for me to start healing and start growing and start realizing and recognizing my potential. And I am a completely different person than I was 2 years ago, and a lot of people have noticed the difference. A lot of it has been positive feedback. I'm not gonna lie, there are some who are jealous and try to throw some negative shade, but that's not a reflection on me, it's a reflection on them, because A, they're not happy with themselves, and B, they're watching you glow up wondering how you're doing it after everything that they tried to bring you down and failed. And I don't wish anybody ill. I don't hate anyone. I don't have the energy to waste on that. And I don't want to hate anybody. There are people that I may not like, but again, I'm not going to wish them ill. I am a big believer in karma, and karma will take care of those people. And I don't even wish that, but it is what it is, guys. You got to learn your lessons at some point. How you learn them, how easy or hard, that's up to you. So don't worry about those people. You know, you can't, one thing I learned, you can't fix anybody, you can't save anybody. All you can do is reach down and offer them a hand up when they've fallen. If they take it, you can be a system of support and positivity for them. If they don't take it, then don't worry about it, okay? They have to figure it out on their own, and that's okay. First and foremost, your job is working on you. Because if you're not right and you're not happy and you're not strong and you don't have your self-respect, life's going to be tough. You know, doing the shadow work is probably the hardest part, and you know, I did a video on that a while back, and that is the hard part, because it's when you really have to look deep inside yourself, figure out what your strengths and weaknesses are, admit to your weaknesses. None of us like to do that. And admit to, you know, your failures and the things that you do wrong. And, you know, how you treat people. Because how you treat people is almost as important as how you treat yourself. Positive thoughts, positive reinforcement, positive affirmations, all essential to your growth. I never really believed that just thinking differently could change my life. I was 100% wrong. Thinking positively has made such a huge impact on my life and who I am and how I view things. It's also impacted the type of people that I attract through that positive energy. I get positive people. You know, if all you do is walk around saying, poor me, I can't have this, I can't do that, how come I don't have, how come this, or whatever the case may be, that's what you're going to attract, because that's what you're putting out into the universe, and that's what the universe is going to throw back in your face. I don't say things like, I wish, or why can't I, or it's never going to happen, or, you know, I have bad luck, because that's exactly what you'll get. I say, I can do that. I am strong. This will happen for me. I deserve. And, you know, it changes your outlook. It changes the world around you. When you're going through, and like for me, I've said before, I had to figure out the difference between being a nice guy and a good man. And I left the nice guy thing way back in the dust. When you do go through the process and you do change, you leave an old version of yourself behind. And that's because that version just doesn't serve you anymore. That was the version of you that needed to learn its lessons. The new version of you who's learned the lessons is much more confident. You inspire people. You show them that you're strong. You show them that you're unbreakable. And you show them that they need to respect you because you respect yourself. A lot of people won't like that, like I said, but who cares? Those are the people you don't want around you anyway. Therapy was really huge and important for me. Talking to somebody that doesn't know you, doesn't know your circumstance, and can give you, you know, a subjective view, excuse me, and another point of view that you're not capable of seeing on your own because you're in the middle of it. It does a lot to help, especially if you find the right therapist. That is a big issue with a lot of people, is they try to go to therapy and they say it didn't work. That's one of two things. Either the therapist you have, you're not compatible with, and that doesn't necessarily mean it's your fault or theirs, it is what it is. Or you get out what you put in. And if you're not putting in the effort and being honest with yourself, and you're not willing to open up and be vulnerable and, talk about the truths, you're not going to get better from it, guys. Talking with my therapist, talking with my life coach, I've had to open up and be extremely vulnerable and talk about a lot of things that I never thought I would speak to somebody about. And not because, I think I'm better than anybody, because that's absolutely not the case, but because it's very personal. Opening up personal things can open up wounds and open you to embarrassment, open you up to thinking that your person, therapist or life coach or whoever is going to judge you and, think whatever you think. But that's not the case if they're good people, they're professional people, and they care. The good ones and the ones who care will absolutely empathize, and they will point out what you're missing in a lot of cases, and they will also help you see if you're thinking correctly about the issues at hand, or if you're giving yourself the grace that you should be, because a lot of times we don't. And it's very easy to slip into a negative mindset and not trust this process and not do this work. But if you do that, you're just shortchanging yourself. It is a long process. It does take a long time in many cases. I'm 2 years in, and even though I am 100 times the man I used to be, it's still ongoing. I'm still doing what I need to do. I'm still seeing these people. They're still helping me. But my insight, thanks to talking things out and admitting faults and weaknesses, and hearing them give their perspective and hearing them validate my feelings, no matter what they are, is huge. It is very difficult. Again, I can't say it enough. I know I've said it several times already, but I want to stress that because it's important that you expect difficulty and pain and sadness and a lot of emotions, but don't be afraid of it, please. Don't be afraid of it at all, because the benefit that you're going to get from going through it and experiencing all those things far outweighs any negative. Walking, music, going to the gym, buying new clothes, spending time with my kids, spending time with friends and family, going away, taking a few days by myself, things that, I never felt comfortable doing before. It wasn't me. But going outside of your comfort zone is also huge. Like I said, this is well out of my comfort zone. I never thought I'd be on YouTube. I am very private in many aspects of my life. I have no social media other than this. you know, I don't feel the need to let the majority of the world know on a daily basis what I'm doing. This is a different thing for me, because even though it's personal, the purpose of it, wanting to help people, I'm okay with opening up to you guys and sharing my experiences and my learned wisdom and my feelings on things. And again, you know, keep in mind, I'm not telling you I know everything, nor am I telling you that what I'm doing is the right way. But I want to share my opinions and my thoughts in the hopes that I can help somebody, because even if I help one person, that's amazing. You know, and I've always done it, but I never could have been as effective as I am now, because I got myself squared away, because I've straightened out a lot of things, you know, in my life, and a lot of the feelings and emotions and shortcomings, and it's all gone, guys. I am strong. I'm happy. I'm enjoying my life. And the funny thing is my life's just starting. You know, I often joke with people that although I might be my age, reverse the numbers, because I'm really just, you know, a happy, goofy teenager who wants to be serious all the time, right? There's just too much to enjoy in life. There's too many awesome experiences to have, too many amazing people to meet, too many wonderful memories to make. And again, take a turn, stop, and look around at life. Don't just keep going down that narrow path, because you're going to miss so much. So until next time, guys, always remember, know your value, know your worth, and respect yourselves. I see you all for who you really are, and I love you for it. And I hope you all really take the time to look around and do something as simple as enjoying a beautiful day in the sun. Until next time, guys, take care.